This is Mari Lane from the Buying Space channel. Today I'm continuing to read in my series of the four Gospels in the New Testament: Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I am on Matthew 20, and the section is Parable of the Vineyard Workers, starting in verse 1, and that section ends on verse 16. For the kingdom of heaven is like the landowner who went out early one morning to hire workers for his vineyard. He agreed to pay the normal daily wage and sent them out to work. At 9 o'clock in the morning, he was passing through the marketplace and saw some people standing around doing nothing. So he hired them, telling them he would pay them whatever was right at the end of the day. So they went to work in the vineyard. At noon, and again at 3 o'clock, he did the same thing. At 5 o'clock that afternoon, he was in town again, and he saw more people standing around. He asked them, "Why haven't you been working today?" They replied, "Because no one hired us." The landowner told them, "Then go out and join the others in my vineyard." That evening, he told the foreman to call the workers in and pay them, beginning with the last worker first. Then those hired at 5 o'clock were paid. Each received a full day's wage. When those who hired first came to get their pay, they assumed they would receive more. But they too were paid a day's wage. When they received their pay, they protested to the owner, "Those people worked only 1 hour, and yet you've paid us just as much as you paid us who worked all day in the scorching heat." He answered one of them, "Friend, I haven't been unfair. Didn't you agree to work all day for the usual wage? Take your money and go. I want to pay this last worker the same as you. Is it against the law for me to do what I want to do with my money? Should you be jealous because I am kind to others?" So those who are lost now will be the first then, and those who are first will be the last. That's a very famous quote in the Bible. Actually, this is the New Living Translation that I read out of for that passage, and this is the King James Version. And if any of you are out there that went to Sunday school and church when you were young, you might recognize this more in the King James Version. Chapter 20, verse 16. So the last shall be first, and the first shall be last. For many be called, but few will be chosen. So that's the end of that story. It goes into a different section at this point. And this is what I'll read next. I'll read, Jesus again predicts his death, and Jesus teaches about serving others. And Jesus heals 2 blind men. And then that'll end up finishing chapter 20. But I did want to read the parable of the vineyard workers by itself. Someone commented and said, you should be reading whole chapters. And this was when I first started out reading, and I, have improved since then. And I can read whole chapters, but sometimes I choose not to because I want to focus on a certain passage. And this passage can be used to play to people that, I find that I'm in certain situations with, and about the order of things and fairness. I have a daughter with autism. She didn't choose that, and life's not fair sometimes. Definitely hasn't been fair to her, and so it's one of those things. There are people out there that staunchly believe they should receive exactly what everyone else receives, no matter what the need. And I wish I had the picture, but there's a picture of three brothers that went to see a baseball game, and the youngest brother was standing on a tall box, and the the middle brother, was standing on a medium box, and the oldest child didn't need a box. He could see over the fence, and they were all seeing the baseball game with the same perspective, because with the boxes at various heights, they could all see the same thing, and that was fair. So what would happen if the oldest brother said, "Hey, I didn't get a box"? Well, you don't need a box if you could already see over the fence and see the full game. So I think people need to think about fairness and what people need. And, those people that weren't working were standing around all day feeling bad and not having anything to eat and worried about their survival. And, that comes with a price too. And I think our culture is harsh on people that don't labor for whatever reason, whether it be disability or whether it just be the lack of opportunity. And I don't think that's fair to have someone's self-worth demeaned because of the lack of opportunity or ability to work. We all have different skills, and we're all different. God has blessed some more than others, and maybe the people that complain about that kind of thing should be grateful that they're able to work, that they have a situation and an opportunity to go to work. They're perfectly able-bodied people that can't find work, and they maybe they live out, in an area that there's no work to be found. There's tons of reasons. Maybe they need to stay at home and take care of a family member. So anyway, I just wanted to throw that out there, and maybe I'll use this passage in the future to kind of state my opinion on things when it does come to labor, and when there's a discussion about fairness in our society. But God is good, and we will continue on reading Bible verses and chapters and portions of chapters. And I'm also reading not only the New Living Translation, the King James Version of the Bible, but I'm reading the Old Testament Apocrypha from a Catholic Bible, a Good News Catholic Bible, and I'm reading the Old Testament from a Torah translated directly from Hebrew. So if you like my Bible reading, please give me a thumbs up. If you want to hear more, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see a notice for everything I read, or every unboxing I do, or just every general video I do, you can when you hit subscribe, a bell will come up over on the right. You click on that, and then you click all. So the little vibration strokes are above the bell, and that means that you will get a notification every time I place out a video. And I would very much like that if you would do that. If there is a video coming up that I've done that you don't seem that you would like, just ignore that one and wait for the next one. Thank you so much, and have a wonderful day.